What is up, and welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt. As always, we've got some MMA to talk, some beer to drink. Today, I'm joined by Cody, as always, for our Wednesday episode, and back for another Wednesday episode, breaking down the main card. We're back at the UFC Apex. It's going to be Maycee Barber taking on Erin Blanchfield. Pretty terrible card. We got Ludovic Klein taking on Matus Gamrot. That'll be a good fight. We're going to break it all down, get into it, but this card really is not that great. If you're tuning in for the bets, those come at the end of the show. Cody's sitting here up 52.72 units year to date. We throw $1,000 up. I just converted it down to $100 as a unit. I am currently up 13.97 units, and Noah, our buddy, is currently down 13.37 units. So it doesn't sound so bad when you think about it like that. Now, we've got a card to get into today. Cody, are you ready to come on in? He is almost ready. We'll just chill on this screen for a minute. Anybody just rolling in, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And, make sure you smash that like button. Give us a sub. Talking Maycee Barber, Erin Blanchfield, breaking down the whole main card today. And, like I said, it's not a great card, but it's a card to get into. Because we got to get into all of them. You got to live through cards like this so you get cards like next week. And while there's not much star power on this card, we might see something fun. We got some guys with shitty gas tanks and explosive energy, so you never know what we're going to run into. I don't think it's going to be very good, but it could be, and you never know. Alrighty. And we are going to be throwing the camera on. Ready, boss? And here we are, going too wide with Cody McCoy. How are you, my friend?
Good, my friend. Good. How we doing today?
We are here. We are happy to be here. We're ready to break down some fights and make some bets. You ready to do the same?
I'm ready to win some people some money.
Everybody seems a little down today. I'm trying not to be. I'm not down.
Let's win some money.
This card, like I said, it's pretty terrible. Not a great one.
It's not a good card.
Not a good card. It's going to be a tough watch. Could have some fun moments, but you got to be a diehard to be wanting to watch this. Of course, we're talking Blanchfield Barber if you're just tuning in. Beer we're sipping on today, it's just a good old Bud Light. I got it because it had stars on the can. If this card wasn't going to have stars, I was going to have some stars. And Cody's over here sipping on some Pepsi.
This card is so bad it makes me want to be sober.
I get that.
Somewhat.
Cody, we had a good episode last week. We had a lot of fun stuff to talk about. We have a lot less fun stuff to talk about this week.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to kick things off. We'll jump into the fights. We'll talk about what we talk about. If anyone jumps in on the chat, we'll address it, as we always do. But we'll start with the main
Leon at this week, man.
What's that?
Where's our boy Leon at this week?
We're just starting. We might catch some people in here.
Throw these on real quick, see if you can hear me better.
But yeah, we'll start things off with Erin Blanchfield, Maycee Barber. This fight's a fight that's happening. Top 10 125-pounders in the women's division. Both are kind of seen as different by different fan bases, but they're seen as the next big thing at 125. Seems like Maycee Barber's really been pushed by the UFC over her career. She had a little stumble and fall. I think she lost 3 in a row at one point. Came back. She's doing all right, but she's had a long layoff, some health concerns. She's back, taking on Erin Blanchfield, who's an absolute beast. She ran into a warrior in Manon Fiorot, and she exposed Blanchfield a little bit. Blanchfield has very little head movement, and we also saw that in the Rose Namajunas fight. But this fight, I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to tell us who is probably going to be the next long reigning champion at 125, because while we have there's plenty of people that could unseat Valentina at 125 with Natalia Silva. You have Zhang Wei Li. You still have Manon Fiorot that even though she lost to Valentina, that broken nose, how much did that play a part of it? So there's a lot at stake here in this fight because it's going to be who gets the big push next, even though they both have stumbled and fallen. Now you look at Macy Barber. She's athletic. She's physically imposing. She's very strong. She has power. She's fast, but she seems to just be a little bit off balance. She's not very technically refined, I don't think. When I'm watching her, I don't see her being very technically there. She's a little sloppy everywhere, but she's been able to hoss a lot of people around. Erin Blanchfield, on the other hand, great wrestling. Absolutely no head movement. Maybe she added that during this camp, but her wrestling is super tough. She'll get you to a body lock and take you down, and once she gets you down, she's going to hold you there, get on top, and just either ground and pound or keep top position. I like Erin Blanchfield in this one. I think she just runs through her, even with the lack of head movement, even with Macy Barber being so physically imposing and strong. I still think Erin Blanchfield's just much more technically skilled, and I think that her wrestling ability is going to be enough to overcome Macy Barber's athleticism and just hossness. How do you see the fight going in this main event, Cody, this 125-pound main event?
I was really impressed when and I'm not shocked that you said you're going to take Blanchfield in this because rightfully so, she is the favorite. She has the more proven track record. She's 4-1 in her last five. She's basically the more experienced fighter on the UFC level. But I'm not gonna go here. I'm gonna go with Barber on this one. We've seen the odds move from plus 210 to plus 190. I think a lot of the public is seeing that there's a lot of juice on her side and that we have a lot going. I can't open that.
So you're going with sorry, I'm just getting the link shared on the socials. I should have done it while
Oh,
the
you're good.
loading screen.
I
But you're
got a
going with
Snapchat from you. I'm like, I can't open that right now, brother. But no, I'm
you're
going.
good. Yeah, I send it out on there. But so you're going with
I'm
Macy
going with
Barber
Macy Barber.
just because of the money, or you think she's got a pretty
On
solid chance?
No, one just the money there is just it's too good not to pass up. Just to throw a couple units on if you got it. But not even that. Just the momentum she's coming in on. She's coming in on a 6-fight win streak. And she had the 2 losses in a row. It wasn't 3.
So,
And one of them was to Grasso, and the other one was to I got it right here. It was a unanimous decision loss to Roxanne Modafferi.
that's right. She was a gatekeeper. She's retired. But during that run, she also fought Miranda Maverick, got the nod by decision. Horrible
Split,
decision,
yeah.
though. She should have lost that fight.
But I mean, after that though, she had one more split decision with Andrea Lee. But I mean, after that though, it's been pretty unanimous. Or she's had the one TKO over Amanda Ribas, but Amanda is not a very good fighter. Let's be honest.
Middle of the road, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It's nothing like,
Not
oh,
on the
she's got
not
to
on
be
the.
fighting for the belt. She beat Amanda Ribas.
Nah, it's not that at all. It's like okay, let's give her a nice little purse then instead. But no, um, but I personally, with the momentum that Macy Barber's coming in on, with the power, like you said, it's not even the power. It's I also love a switch versus ortho matchup. And I love Macy with the switch stance here, being able to go up against an orthodox
Sorry,
stance,
an orthodontist.
orthodontist.
Yeah, no, she's. I mean,
No,
maybe
but
she'll be an orthodontist after her fight career. She gets some head movement down and avoids some
I
damage.
mean, Messi, yeah, she's gonna be really really good at getting some teeth work done. But especially after this fight, though, with the way I'm seeing it, Macy Barber's gonna walk away with this one and split decision yet again. Split decision yet again, and
Women's MMA split decisions, great call. It's tougher to hit those
but
in
but
five rounders.
but I don't have it. I'm not. We'll see later in the bets, but I do have Macy Barber. Little hint, hint, as one of my picks. Was that your phone, or
Yeah,
was
I was
that?
just checking the audio on this.
Oh, okay. Because I seen like it looked like I didn't know if that was Rachel's hand poking in there. That's why I was going like this.
That's funny. Yeah, no, Rachel's upstairs with our youngest. He has an ear infection right now, so
Paul
not feeling
Huey.
great. We got him some amoxicillin. But yeah, I just think I've always not been sold on Macy Barber since she's come to the UFC. Uh they've pushed her as the next big thing. She's the next big women's MMA star. Like they've been trying to wait out Valentina so they can slot her in next, and I think that she's just not it. She hasn't been as impressive as I think you need to be. Whereas Aaron Blanchfield, she goes out there, snaps Molly McCann's arm. She beats Rose Namajunas, which is a tough test. Rose had a good showing towards the end of that, but yeah, I gotta go with Aaron Blanchfield in this one. I have some pretty I think I have some pretty big money on her this week because I'm just so confident in her, even at the minus 200. And
I respect it.
a couple weeks ago, I was in a Twitter Spaces or X Spaces, whatever they're called, with Colin
Hmm.
Crandall, MMA reporter, and he, not name dropping, just talking to him about this fight, and we were looking at the odds, and Macy Barber was a favorite early on, which is
Hmm.
wild to me because Aaron Blanchfield is much better, a much higher prospect, I think. So
Oh, absolutely. I just I just think for me personally, I think the power is going to sneak in this time around, and I think she's very precise, and she's very accurate too. Not even to mention that, I mean, she's 57% on her strikes, so
yeah,
it's pretty good for the women's divisions,
with an
especially at
Aaron Blanchfield,
125.
yeah, with an Aaron Blanchfield who
Like
does
you said, does
not
not move the
move her
head.
head and doesn't do any of that. Yeah, that could be an issue. That could be an issue. So I'll let you kick off this next fight. This is a weird episode. Um, just jumping straight into the fights because there's not much to talk about. Because I don't want to talk about the John Jones stuff on end. I'm tired of talking
I was
about it.
gonna say, are we gonna talk about John Jones retiring yet again?
It's every
I
week.
mean,
It's like, oh,
it's
he's
every
made
week.
us
It's
think he was gonna fight, but he's not. I mean, if he does, great. But I'm just tired of hearing about it. But we're talking Mateusz
yeah,
Gamrot,
honestly.
Ludovic Klein. Mateusz Gamrot is a fucking gamer, and he's barely a favorite in this one. How's this fight going down, my friend?
This one's gonna be a freaking fun one, honestly. If we were gonna do sleepers of the cards, this one would probably be the sleeper of the card.
We
If
are
not,
gonna do
maybe
sleepers of the card. I'm just
if we are, then I've got some sneak peeks in here afterward. Giving away all my picks early on, Matt. This is not fair. I personally, I like Klein to walk away with this one, honestly, not just because of. I mean, they're pretty similar in their MMA careers, record wise. But I think just like the last fight, I think he's coming in on more momentum. Um, I think if I'm not mistaken, Gamrot lost to that wasn't
so Gamrot lost to Dan Hooker,
Dan Hooker. That's who it
and he
was.
lost to
Yes,
Beneil Dariush, who are two top 10 guys.
that's
But
right. It was
I
Dan
mean,
Hooker.
he. So here's his. I'll read it to you because it seems like the Dariush loss is a lot closer. He he loses to Dariush in 22. Split decision over Jalen Turner. Probably should have lost that. TKO over Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev got a knee injury. Decisions, Rafael Dos Anjos loses to Dan Hooker in a decision. He probably should have won that one. Hey, lazy bed. This is the show where they talk blood sport and they drink beer. We drink beer sport and talk about blood sometimes. Type A, type B, how the hell's it going, my friend? But Cody, you like Ludovic Klein, and that's crazy.
I do like Ludovic Klein. It's not that crazy. The odds makers don't see it that crazy. The public doesn't see it that crazy. Especially when Gamrot has shown signs of weakness in his last couple losses in his last five fights. Um, there's signs in that I think Klein has the upcome. I mean, he's not even that. He's younger. He's got. I think he has the reach advantage. Inch and a half, not crazy.
Yeah, and
But
then Gamrot
two
has the
inches,
height, so it's going to kind of even
it
out.
it kind of counters out. Yeah, but I mean, just overall, I think this is going to be a bloody bath.
A
Gamrot
bloody.
loves the ground. Gamrot loves the ground. Loves to shoot the takedowns. He has high energy. Uh, but I don't know, man. Klein, he's got great takedown defense. He's not the greatest on the ground, but I mean he can hold his own, and he's an excellent striker. I have I just have this one. I mean, I have Ludovic Klein coming out of this one. Split decision, maybe shockingly somehow just a random doctor stoppage, but it's not going to be a crazy win by any means. If anything, Gamrot should win this one, but I see for some I don't know what it is. I was looking at this card yesterday, and I see a lot of dogs winning for some reason. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that this is a dog ridden card before next week.
I feel like there's a lot of dogs on this card too. I don't think this is one, and I tried to when I made my bets, I tried to go through and pick all favorites or mostly favorites, like the ones I was super confident in, because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there must be something tripping me up about these dogs. Lost the confidence a little bit. I don't know. Who knows? Gamrot's walking away with this. Dude shoots takedowns like what is it? Five and a
It's
half, 5.25 a fight. Every 15 minutes,
mm-hmm.
he shoots 5 takedowns. That's an insane pace. He's like a 155 Marab. Dude's a beast. He's going to go in there. Ludovic Klein might touch him up a little bit, but Gamrot's got a chin. He's just going to be like slamming single legs the whole time, doing wild stuff, rolling. Yeah, he's older, but he's only 34. He's been active. He's a beast. People don't want to fight him for a reason. One, he's a little boring when it's just the takedowns, but two, it's because he's a terrible matchup and he's exhausting. Now, I think Ludovic Klein has the gas tank to deal with it, but do you have the gas tank and the skill to be firing offense while Ludovic or while Mateus Gamrot is grabbing your leg every 15 seconds? What is up, John Dong? Welcome back to the chat, my friend. How the hell you doing?
John Dong. What up, dog?
But yeah, I got Gamrot in this one, and I think it's going to be a pretty convincing win for Gamrot. I think
Really?
Yeah, I think that there's levels to this. You look at the guys he's been fighting compared to the guys Ludovic Klein's been fighting. So, like I said, Gamrot, he fights the Fazivs, the Dariushas, the RDAs, the Dan Hookers, the Jalen Turners, these dogs. Ludovic Klein, his last 5 fights. Roosevelt Roberts wins a decision. Roosevelt Roberts, I think, is cut from the UFC now. Thiago Moises loses a decision, or wins a decision.
Yeah, but Matt, you also have to understand everyone has to start somewhere and get to that level of fights.
Yeah,
And
you're
I think this is
absolutely
a
right, and they do
I think
have
this is a
to.
perfect stepping stone here for this one.
They do
And
have to. I just think Gamrot's the worst stepping stone anybody can get with how well he shoots those takedowns.
the only problem with his takedowns, he shoots them at 35% accuracy with a 91% defense coming in for Klein.
Okay,
So
yeah,
it's going to be really tough for him, I think personally. And if
yeah.
Klein can keep this on the feet, I think Klein's going to walk away with it, especially with his striking power.
So yes, absolutely. But his game is not getting the takedowns. His game is just shooting the takedowns and controlling you and stifling your offense. I'm gonna
Oh,
read you another
absolutely.
guy's stats that's very similar to Gamrot. He lands four strikes a minute, 58% accuracy, shoots 5.9 takedowns every 15 minutes, 35% takedown accuracy. That man's name is Marab Davalishvili. It's not about getting the takedowns anymore. It's about stifling the offense.
I don't. I just and that's the thing though. He's got to get the takedown and stifle the offense. But if he can't get the takedown, it's
Yeah,
just a lot of wasted energy on his end.
so I'm gonna address this one I just pinned. So John Dong, I didn't think about this until someone brought it up in another stream, but isn't it crazy that RDA is fighting Whitaker, but Fluffy has to fight Delidze even though Fluffy has better wins? He was the double champ over and won. The only guy he lost to is their heavyweight champ who just lost the belt to Rug Rug. RDR is a beast. We've seen him sub people and knock him out. Dude's got clubbing power. He's awkward and donkey, but the dude's jujitsu is second to none. I mean, he might have been able to tap out Bo Nickel with the little club and sub. Dude's a beast. But yes, was a double champion one, was their best fighter, was their golden child for a while. RDR is the shit. So, after that fight, we get into some ridiculousness a little bit. And you were hyped about this, or you said you may be hyped about it when the time comes. We're
Yes, it
talking,
has. I think this one has the thinnest of hairs of potential to be a great fight.
I know when you sent me that message, I was like, thinnest of hairs. I mean, I guess they're in braids today, but it'd be hard to get thin hair in braids. I don't know. I was crazy, of course. We got, of course, Billy Ray Goff. What a name, taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. Two kind of weird fighters. You were hyped about it. I'm a little hyped about it. I think we could see some fireworks. I got a bet on this one. How you see this fight going down?
I got Billy Ray Goff walking away with this one, maybe in the second round, if not the first round, personally. Um, both fighters had their own fights scheduled on this card, and then they were canceled. And then Dana White just threw two 170-pounders together and said, you know what? We're going to do that. And the other two fighters, I think, are going to fight on what, June 2nd?
Oh wait, it looks like that fight just got called off.
No, this is the switch up fight.
No,
This is
they just canceled it.
I know I see off on the ESPN, but whenever you search it up, the 13 hours ago they were scheduled to fight other people, and this is what they put in place of it.
No, no, that was Andreas Gustafsson taking on Trevin Giles. He was supposed to fight Marcados. I know what you're
I
talking
haven't seen
about.
any. I haven't seen anything about this being off. I searched it up before the show and everything.
I don't know. We'll talk about it. I would think it's off. I'm gonna. You keep talking about the fight. I'm gonna search Billy Ray Goff, see if he posted anything.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, Billy Ray Goff is 1-3 in the UFC. Doesn't have the greatest start, and he's coming off a loss. But I mean, Raheem is not the greatest fighter either. 5'10", little short stack, same kind of build basically as Billy Ray Goff, but he doesn't have the motor. And he doesn't definitely have the chin either. He's kind of a still head himself. I think Billy Ray Goff with his motor and his attack, if this fight isn't called off, which I don't think it is,
Yeah, I might. Maybe it's just weird on ESPN.
because it's still on FanDuel and everything too,
Yeah, like
and
why would they put it
DraftKings.
there if it's off?
Um, but you can't really do anything. There's no props open for the fight, so I don't know if it is off. But money line's still open, so
I hope it's not off because that fight. I like what you're saying. Billy Ray Goff's motor. He's shooting. He's hitting 9 strikes a minute, five or two takedowns a fight. Dude's a beast. He's energetic. He's going after it, and at 170, that's a problem. Brahimaj does carry one punch knockout power, but he's susceptible to a lot defensively. He could catch Billy Ray Goff with a counter when Goff comes in with one of those big combos that he likes to throw. And we could also see Billy Ray Goff gas because I think this is a rather short notice fight. And I just, that pace at 170, it's a lot. I don't think you can keep it
hmm
up. I think I think Goff takes it, but if it goes past a round and a half, I think Brahimaj is going to finish him. I don't think this is going to the cards. I think it's going under 1.5, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, like you said, I think this is going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be. I hope it lasts like a round and a quarter because I've got a bet on it. But I think it's going to be a fun fight for as long as it lasts. I think we're going to see guys throwing. We're going to see Brahimaj letting loose because Goff is open. We're going to see Billy Ray Goff going wild because he's in the mightiest of apexes. I mean, the guy's there. What else do you want?
Billy Ray Goff is the freaking man right now, man. Um,
Yeah, I mean, he's coming off a
right now of
loss,
this
but
card,
he's a beast. He's only 26, so he's still coming into his own. He hasn't really fought the toughest of competition at all. But, he's a fun fighter. We like fun fighters.
he's a very fun fighter. I agree.
So we'll move on. Dustin Jacoby, he's taking on Bruno Lopez off the Dana White Contender Series. He has one win in the UFC. He's 14-1. Only loss coming on the Dana White Contender Series the previous season to Brenson Ribeiro, a round one knockout. He's going in against Dustin Jacoby, a striker. Dude's been in Glory. He was a Glory kickboxing champion, I believe. He's a beast. He's been around the block, been there, done that. And he puts on good fights every time he goes out there. Now, he's had a bit of a rough patch lately. He's 2-3 in his last 5, and before that, I think he was 1-4. Yeah, he's hit a bit of a rough patch, but like the Khalil Roundtree fight, the Mirzakhanov fight, they were close. Menafield, he should have won that fight. So You could really say the only fight he should have lost was the Dominic Reyes fight where he got knocked out, and he looked bad in that fight. He looked old and washed. And I like Dustin Jacoby, and I think he can go out there and style on people. But against a young guy like Bruno Lopez, who does carry a lot of power, he's got good takedowns. I think Lopez can beat him either an early knockout or he can kind of take him down, hold him against the cage because he's going to be more athletic, more physically imposing. I just think Bruno Lopez has more paths to victory here. Now, if it goes all 3 rounds, I think that Dustin Jacoby could easily style on this dude from the outside and just kickbox him. But Dustin Jacoby also kind of has that second gear where he knows he's losing the fight, kicks it up, and he's like, all right, here we go. Time to get the finish. And he did that against Vitor Petrino last time out where he was getting his ass beat round 3, goes out there and knocks out Petrino. So we could see anything. Dustin Jacoby, very active guy when he's in there, 5 strikes a minute. How do you see this fight going down, my friend?
I like how you said that too. Like he has the second gear for Dustin Jacoby because he kind of just reminds you of another Dustin, just for a light heavyweight with Dustin Poirier, where he seems like he's just going to be getting his ass kicked, and all of a sudden he just has that will of a fighter. It just is okay with just dying in the cage to make sure that he instills victory. But like though, Bruno Lopez is a freaking beast among men. I mean, 14-1 record's nothing to be. I mean, it's nothing to be shied away from. But also, let's be honest, he also hasn't fought in the sharpest of knives like Dustin
Absolutely
Jacoby
right.
has.
I mean,
So but it's just like back to the Gamrot fight. Everyone deserves that stepping stone to get to the point where you start fighting those elite fighters, and this is one of them fights for Bruno Lopez. I I see this can go either way. I know he's a minus 200 favorite for Dustin Jacoby. I like Dustin Jacoby just based off experience and being in high leverage moments, and he's seen many fighters in a multiple of like Bruno Lopez. So he has also the experience to be able to combat his game plan and be able to take it to the ground, gain control. Even though that's not really his biggest strong suit because he loves to just throw the strikes, and just swing with power at his freaking size of 205. But personally, for me, I like Dustin Jacoby in this one. I think he's going to walk away with possibly a TKO if Bruno leaves slipping up. He's not undefeated, so that doesn't guarantee he's going to lose in the way of you're thinking this year.
Hey, they are
But for me,
bouncing back a little, but they're still
they
not
are
anywhere near
they are
500.
aren't they
So,
like 4-1 in the last couple weeks?
3-1 or 3-2 because that Bo Nickel card, 2 undefeated
That's
fighters
right.
lost.
We got to start another ladder. Speaking of that,
We do. I was a little hesitant until we get to a better card, but I am absolutely down with starting another ladder. We're not doing
next
Kayla
week.
Harrison.
Next week.
Yeah. Are you coming down for a watch party next week, or are we doing it on the Zoom? Or are you busy?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet because next week is first Friday, so it just depends. Like it's a big old festival here every first Friday of the month here in town up here in Canton, Ohio. And I usually get pretty schlacked.
Hold up, Lazy Bed. Shout out Canton, Ohio. He's up there in Cleveland. Let's go. Doxing
What
people
up?
all over the place.
We're all over, baby.
All right.
Um, but I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I
Yeah.
think Noah should definitely get his butt over there if I come down.
Yeah, Noah could. He lives right up the street. I probably should have invited him last time. It was so much going on. I had to find someone to watch the kids, and we don't need to bore people with all the shindigs and shenanigans. I was trying to
No,
make
we
sure.
could talk about this another time. Sorry,
Yeah,
y'all. We don't need to talk about this
no,
jazz.
no worries. Now this is
But
a
for me
fight.
though, in this
Oh,
one though, this is a fight though that I like. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off
no,
there,
you're
bro.
good. You're
But
continuing.
I like, but I like at the 205 level here with the second motor that you said that Dustin Jacoby has. I just think that's also something that a young up and comer like Bruno here hasn't seen. So I think that he's going to have to be on his A game to get the finish early if he's going to want to win this one. But for me though, I got Dustin Jacoby walking away with this one, if by TKO, if not by decision.
Yeah, I mean Dustin Jacoby has all the skill, all the tools, the experience. He could definitely just old man this dude and do the damn thing, get it done. I think that the armor's got a chink at some point. He's been super active for an old man, and I will admit those glory kickboxers, they seem to have a lot more durability as far as being able to last at older ages. When you look at what's his name that trained with Alex Pereira. Shit, I'm drawing a blank. But the guy that trained
Oh,
Cesar
I'm drawing a blank
Almeida.
myself.
You look at Alex Pereira. You look at Dustin Jacoby. These guys, they're able to just continue to do the thing after all the damage they've taken. I don't know. Maybe it's just not wrestling all those years. Their body's not breaking down. So when they get rocked, they can kind of get their body back together because they haven't had a million injuries and parts of their body don't go dead. Maybe. I don't know. I was never a wrestler. I was always into boxing, did a little karate growing up. But yeah, man. That fight, that's another one. It could be a good one, but I don't think it will be, unfortunately. I
Mm-mm.
don't think this is going to be a good card. But we move on. We digress and we roll forward to Zachary Reese taking on Dusko Todorovic. And Zachary Reese, dude shoots out of a cannon every fight. He reminds me of a little bit better version of Jordan Wright, who would just, he's a get got kind of guy. He goes out there, he's either going to knock you out or get knocked out early. And that's Zachary Reese's whole MO. Dusko Todorovic, dude gets knocked out, dude gets beat up. He's just not that good when he gets out there. He just doesn't look good. Like, he looks hesitant. I don't know. But he could knock him out. Everyone has a puncher's chance, and Zachary Reese has bad defense. So, Todorovic isn't going to take him down. He's a striker for the most part. Zachary Reese, he might take him down, but I think this fight, Zachary Reese is probably getting a round one knockout, maybe round two. I like Zachary Reese in this one. Do you see it any other way? You big Dusko guy over there, Mr. McCoy?
No, I'm not a big Dusko fan in this one. I know that Reese is coming off a TKO loss against Bekoff, but I mean,
Everyone loses to Ulanbeka or
but
to Bakoyev.
Bakoyev, thank you. I was hoping you'd fix me on that one because I just knew I bunched it.
Well, you
But
said
he
Bekov. I
also
was like, Ulanbekov? He
no,
lost it.
no. But he also lost to Cody Brundage as well as in a TKO as well. And to lose to two powerhouse guys like that, I mean,
Cody Brundage, he's a weird guy to watch fight, but yeah, that he's another guy that's kind of get or get got though.
exactly. And but I don't see Duska walking away with this one. I don't see how. Oh, I'm pulling up the stats here real quick. Um, just the motor, like you were talking about how he shoots for takedowns. He's an absolute warrior. I think that he's one that if he can stop getting got, I think Dana would give him an opportunity of getting better fights.
He's
Um,
entertaining as hell.
exactly, and he can sell a card. He's a funny guy.
He's
He's
got the
kind of an
potential.
asshole.
Yeah, he's got the potential to be able to sell a card. He's kind of like Joe Pfeiffer without being a fucking dick. Like
It,
like you can
but
be
the
an
thing is
asshole
though,
without being a dick. And
he
yeah, like I know Lazy Bed was there for Joe Pfeiffer's interview with Ariel Hawani, and like the
oh
dude
my
is just
gosh.
such a dick. I don't know if you caught that today, but man, Joe Pfeiffer sucks. Zach Reese could be the 170. That's what he fights at, right? 170, 185.
170, yeah, middleweight.
Yeah, no, 185 middleweight, but
Middleweight, yeah.
he could be like a Joe Pfeiffer, a poor man's Joe Pfeiffer from
I
where, Kentucky or somewhere. Where's
uh,
this?
I don't know where he's from. Let me go back to it real
I
quick.
got it
Uh,
here.
you're faster than me. You got the big old Mac.
It
Uh,
doesn't
um,
say. I don't have topology up.
but no, and also Dusko's lost his last two fights by knockout or TKO. So it's just his chin is so beaten right now, and that I just don't see it going well for him.
Yeah,
I see a second round knockout. To be honest with you, brother.
I think it's round one, but yeah, I like that. So we'll move on to our talking points that we always hit. Texas, that's where Zachary Reese is from. I knew he was a good old boy. I knew he was a good old boy. Kentucky's my favorite good old boys. They're all fun to party with. The Ohioans we're all cagey and kind of dicks to anybody that's an outsider, I feel like. But we'll move on to our talking points that we always hit. We'll talk about it. So I'm not gonna let you pick Mateusz Gamrot versus Ludovic Klein for your sleeper fight because I don't think a co-main event can be a sleeper fight. So I want
That's
you to
fine.
look through this. I'll give you a sec. I'll talk about mine, but for your sleeper fight, my sleeper fight that I have maybe Reese versus Tudorovic, but I don't think Tudorovic is going to be very good. I think it's going to be Goff versus Brahimaj, or I think we might see something surprising with this Allwell versus Balaji Oakley. I think that could be something special where people, they don't know much about Allwell. The guy's coming in short notice for, let's see here, lightweight fight. So he's got to make 155 short notice. Normally fights 145, so he's moving up, but sometimes those guys hopping off the couch just have so much energy, they just shoot out of there, fucking beat ass and take names. So I like the Balaji Oki versus Aswell Jr. That's what his name is, Oswell Jr. Also Billy Ray Goff, of course. That could be a great fight as well. But what do you see as the sleeper fight looking it over?
Dude, honestly, the women's fight, man, it could be pretty good.
The
Ketlin Vieira versus Chase on.
That could be a good one. I'm going to give you the floor. Talk about it. How's it going down? Who's winning?
Because one, you're looking at it, the height definitely goes towards Macy Chase on. There, she's 5'11", but she also has a 3-inch shorter reach than Ketlin Vieira. So, but also Ketlin Vieira now has a bunch of power behind her strikes. She's not very fast on the feet, but also at the same time, she's got a great chin. And also coming in, I think she's coming in on a pretty decent streak, if I'm not mistaken here. Let me load this up.
Chase
Um,
on.
no, Vieira. She's
Vieira's
coming off a
two and
loss against
three
Kayla
or three
Harrison,
and two. Yeah,
but
one
she
and
went the
two.
entire distance versus Kayla Harrison.
She did. She looked good in that fight, and that's a tough fight to win.
Her only two losses, Matt, are
Former
versus Kayla
champ
Harrison
and next
and
champ.
Raquel Pennington. Yes.
Yeah, so former
So
champion Raquel Pennington, who just lost the belt, and
and
then
Macy Chase on. To me, dude, I don't think she looks. She's a great warrior. Don't get me wrong. She doesn't throw great strikes. She's accurate with her strikes, but I don't see a lot of power and a lot of like sig, from them impact strikes, as they call them and they point them for. But she's coming off a doctor's win against Buena Silva.
yeah,
So
she
I
had
mean,
Bueno Silva split in that one.
and then she beat Kanzad. So
She just
it's
hasn't fought the same level of talent. Now,
no, and
Buena
and she
Silva,
she lost to Raquel Pennington, but she didn't. She has yet to fight Kayla Harrison. So I personally like for this one. I think this one could be another one of those ones where somebody gets split open. It's going to be tons of strikes. It's
I
one
definitely
that
think
they're
it's staying on the
pacing.
feet.
Oh, absolutely, and they pace themselves too very well on the feet. So they know how to shoot right. They know how to make sure that they time up their combos. And I think for Ketlin Vieira, if she's a straight shooter, I think she's going to go just straight forward with her strikes. And I think for this one, it's going to be really tight, but she's definitely going to walk away with this one by a unanimous decision. If you're going to ask me that,
Yeah, because I mean, neither of these girls have knockout power. 4 knockouts for Chiasson, 2 for Vieira. That's pretty
no, but
rough
this
when
one
you
could
look
be
at 18 fights and 14 fights. It's going the distance. I think that's a pretty safe bet. I think that's crazy to pick that as your sleeper fight, to be honest. I just
dude. I'm telling you, it could be a real fun, just strike them out, bloody match.
could be. I don't know. I think it's going to be. You're going to watch it and be like, I probably shouldn't have even watched that. But we have only 11 fights for this shit card, so God bless the UFC for not making us stay up all night. And with those 11 fights, Cody, I always ask you this. We got an over-under on finishes, 5.5. Anyone in the chat, feel free to drop your thoughts on it as well. Are we going over 5.5 finishes or under 5.5 finishes, my friend?
We're going to go under this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of finishes. I think they're all going to come in the prelims. Maybe 3 of them in the prelims here, and then maybe 2 finishes max. Finish right at 5 at most. If I'm going to be straight up with you here, I think the Gamrot fight could be a finish. And then the Billy Ray fight
Billy
will be
Ray
a
Goff.
finish.
I think that's
Yep, those are the two that are going to be finishes on the main card for me. And then if you go to the prelims, looking over them, I think the Balaji Oki fight could be a finish. I think the Andreas Gustafsson fight might be a finish, and then I think the Philo fight might be a finish.
yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go over this week. I think that sometimes these shit cards have people that just get steamrolled a lot of the times. I
Okay.
think that Billy Ray Goff versus Brahimaj is gonna be a finish. I think Bruno Lopez, Dustin Jacoby is probably gonna be a finish. Zachary Reese versus Dusko Todorovic finish. So there's three right there on the main card. And then I think that Andreas Gustafsson versus Trevin Giles is a finish. I guess I'm at five. Balaji Oki versus Aswell. Yeah, I think just five. Just five.
Yeah,
Go under.
I think it's under. I think it's going to peak right at 5.
I think you're spot on there. So we'll
That's a good line there, bub.
it sure is. So we'll keep rolling on along to our bets. Now, Cody, I did better last week. You're kicking my ass year to date, but we're both positive. We're both over. I'm over 100% profit, so I mean it's not a bad, not a bad time.
Not at all. Let me readjust this real quick
So
because I think I might just bring this to 2 bets.
you got two bets. Well, I'll
I think
let you
so. Cause
adjust yours then while I give you mine. My first bet is a parlay. We got Mateus Gamrot parlayed with Aaron Blanchfield, main co-main parlay. We got plus 129 odds on that. Throw 300 down, gets you 689 back. Second bet, I got Zachary Reese versus Dusko Todorovic under 1.5. 200 on that gets you 306 back. And that's minus 188. Billy Ray Goff versus Ramiz Brahimaj under 1.5. Plus 140. Minus 2 or plus 140 odds, putting 250 on it to get 600 back. Zachary Reese parlayed with Billy Ray Goff, minus 118 odds, 277.50. Get back on that one. And then for the final 100, we're going a little crazy. We're getting a 5-leg parlay in.
geez, okay, let's see it.
We got Blanchfield, Gamrot, Goff, Zachary Reese, Balaji Oakley.
Okay.
$100 on it gets us 548 back. Or it gets us it was plus 548, so it gets us 648 back. And that's our bets. So we have a total winnings of about 1200, 1950, 6. So we got total winnings of about 2250, 1250 profit.
Solid. I respect it. I like it.
So how's this one going down in your eyes, Cody?
Two parlay, not parlays. I got one parlay, one straight. Just going for it. You got Billy Ray Goff and Klein money line together. It's
Okay.
going to be plus 204. I'm going to throw 400 on it. And total, it's going to bring back 1,216.
Okay.
And then, you ready for this one? Barber victory by points. Plus 420. 600 brings back 3,120. Great odds. Plus 400 plus for points on a decision. That's going to go the distance, you know? Oh,
Yeah, it's
come on now.
probably going to go the distance. It's probably absolutely going to do that. And
And
you're
if you want Blanchfield, that's plus money too at the distance as well. Let me look it up here for people. If you want Aaron Blanchfield method of victory by points, um, it's plus 100. So you can easily you pick one. You can double your money, quad your money, whatever you want to do.
I
It's
think that Blanchfield has a chance at getting submissions. She's a real good jiu-jitsu
Blanchfield
practitioner,
by submissions plus 450.
but I don't like picking one or the other.
There's double chances. on FanDuel. I like those as well. They got it to where Blanchfield by points or sub minus 195.
Ah,
Exactly. But Macy by uh, points or TKO plus 200. I like that too.
yeah, I do like that. But I like Blanchfield in the win. I like we made the episode what we could make the episode because the UFC gave us what the UFC gave us. I'm back Sunday. The recap of this card. Hopefully, it's better than it looks on paper. We are back next Wednesday for a UFC 316 spectacular. Hopefully, Noah can join us for this one. We're going to be breaking down Sugar Sean O'Malley taking on Merab Dvalishvili, challenging for the 135 title, and Kayla Harrison challenging for the women's 135 against current champion Juliana Pena. We're breaking it all down. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. Make sure you drop us a like, give us a sub. Shooting to 250. We're only at 130 now. We're over halfway there, but we're going to get there eventually someday. Sorry for the loud clap. Thank you for tuning in. Cody, let them know where to find you. You got it there?
I got it right there. Find me at underscore Cody McCoy on X and on Instagram, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm Matt with Blood and Beer.